How are we all doing, lads? It is your favorite mums here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Alright, guys, so I've been making my videos, I've been trying to make my videos short, but they've been going really long because obviously, as you can see, I like to talk a lot. So I'm going to flip the script on this bitch and I'm going to try and make this video like 15 minutes, alright? So let's get straight into it and just go. Basically, the gist of this video is I mentioned this method in an earlier video. It's basically trading at the start of the game using the advanced SBCs. So you can do this from day one of FIFA, and I usually do this throughout the first week of FIFA. And it normally is one of the main methods that helps me get to 1 million coins. So my goal is normally to have about 1 million coins by the end of week one. This is what I normally use. It's probably the main method I use to get there. And it works very effectively, very easy to do. And I don't think that many people seem to do it as well, so that's why I find it works really well. Anyways, it involves using the advanced SBCs, also the starter SBCs. Now I'm going to show you this. Quick disclaimer: I normally use Footbin for this. It's the most popular website, and therefore their solutions and trading off of their solutions work the best because it's what most people use, so they have the most demand, those cards that they're using. Footbin have already taken their solutions down for FIFA 20 because they're already on FIFA 21. So I'm having to use Footwiz, their website, just to kind of show you. But really, I'd be doing this on Footbin, okay? But it's very similar, I guess, how their things work. So let me flip you guys over to the FIFA screen quickly. Now, as you can see here, these are our SBCs. So we've got our starting SBCs, which you can see here, our basic ones. These are ones that will all be there at the start that everyone will go and do. And also the advanced SBCs is something that everybody does in that first couple weeks of FIFA. Now, why you can make money really easy on these guys. If you have a look at these SBCs, they're very specific in what they need. You know, like this one, you need to have exactly 6 clubs. You know, you have to have only max 2 from the same nation, max 2 from the same league. All right, so very specific. You go to the advanced SBCs as well, it's the same thing. So if you have a look at any of these, let's go to League and Nation Hybrid, and you go down to the end tier. Look, you need to have exactly 9 nationalities and exactly 7 leagues. So very specific in what it's asking for, guys. And they're all very similar. There's, look, exactly 6 nations, exactly 6 leagues, players from the same nation, max 3, players from same league, max 3. So because of the stipulations they put on these SBCs, sometimes there's only certain players you can use. In a solution, you have to use some very specific players, okay? Now, this can cause certain players that are regularly needed to rise extreme amounts, okay? And also drop extreme amounts. So there's very large fluctuations on these cards. So now what I do is I trade around this. Now, you can trade around this in the easy way. And I'll show you both ways, right? I'll show you the way I do it, and then I'll show you how you can do it on a more simple, the more simple way, I guess, but it's not as effective, but it just takes, I guess, less knowledge. So basically, I like to use Footbin. Right now, I said we'll be using Footwiz, but normally I'd be on Footbin. You would go to here, you'd go to active challenges, which would bring you onto this screen here, and then you would see the SBCs. They would be listed right here. You would click on them, and you would go to, like I'm doing here. So you would see them here, but this would be on Footbin. You would click on it. It would take you into it, and it would show you the different ones. And then you could go to view solutions for each of them. Okay? So I would pick one that's got very specific. I didn't even show you guys that, did I? Sorry, boys. So there you go. You go to, normally I'd be clicking on this button here, active challenges, and it would take me to here on Footbin, and it would have them all listed. Kind of like this. You click on whichever one you want to do, and it would come up with view solutions for each of them. Now, what I would normally do is I would pick one that has fairly specific requirements. So if you have a look at, I think, Puzzle Master, you need 9 nationalities exactly, 7 leagues exactly. So that's a pretty good one because there's going to have to be very specific cards being used. Now, like I said, Footbin's a lot more popular. So on Footbin, you're going to see a lot more solutions here. You know, for these ones, obviously, they're not as popular. Look, there's not even any squads in the solutions for that one. This one's, it's only got a few. Footbin would have like a fairly long list of solutions. Anyways, what happens is they are ranked by on Footbin anyways, they rank them by cheapest to most expensive, okay? So they are ranked by cheapest to most expensive. So what I will normally do is I'll go look at one of the cheapest solutions, okay? Because this is how it works, basically, is all the casuals go and use the Footbin solutions, okay? So whichever ones say they're the cheapest, so people will go and be like, okay, well, look, this one needs 0 position, 0 loyalty, and it's the cheapest one out of all of them. So they'll click on that one, and they'll just buy the exact cards that are written there. Now, what happens if that solution, basically, if you've got a card that's in one of the top few solutions, that card will rise. All right? Now, the thing with Footbin is it doesn't update automatically, okay? It doesn't update, like, every second. It updates, like, once an hour. Now, because it updates once an hour, prices can be, I guess, thrown off. So it might say a solution is the cheapest, and it might say, all these cards. It might say these cards cost 700 coins each. Now, what happens is everyone starts buying those cards, and they go up from 700. They go up to maybe 12, 13, 14, 1500 coins. But because Footbin hasn't updated the prices yet, it's, Footbin's still saying this solution is the cheapest because it's still saying they're all 700 coins. People find this out once they start doing the solution. It's too late then. They're like, oh, well, I'm just going to buy them anyways. Even though they're more expensive, they buy them anyways. What happens is Footbin then updates. Because all those cards are now expensive, that solution drops all the way down the list and goes down right down the list and is no more the cheapest. So therefore, obviously, nobody is using that solution. They start using a different solution, and those cards, once again, start to get cheaper. Because once there's no demand and there's supply of them, they just start getting cheaper. So what you'll find is on a lot of those cards is they'll just fluctuate. On an hour-by-hour basis, you'll find them fluctuating. They might hit a low of 700, then an hour or two later, be up at 1600. An hour or two later, be down at 600, then back up to 1200, then down to 500, then back up to 1400. They'll fluctuate regularly like that, all right? So what I'll do is I will find those cards and I will use those to trade with. So an example here, this hasn't even given you all the cards, guys. So Footbin's just like not a very good... Sorry, FootWiz just isn't a very good site to use. I'll be honest with you guys. But basically, what I would do is I would have a look at one of the cheaper solutions that are on the top of Footbin at the moment, right? For the advanced SBCs. I would find cards that you need to have, all right? So there are very specific cards that you would need to use. Now, an example of this, right, is the way this has been put on chemistry, right? So they have to use certain leagues, certain nations. And this has been put on chemistry very specifically. An example of this is maybe Voland. All right? These two cards have to be used. So this is a perfect link. Without that perfect link, these cards don't get chemistry. All right? So this card, because of the two red links, would not get chemistry without this card. So these two cards would both be needed, all right? Or this card basically would be needed to get this card on full chemistry, all right? You couldn't use any other card. You have to have a card from the same league, same nation, same team to get a perfect link, all right? So therefore, this might be a good card to use to trade with. So what I would then do is I would have a look at this card further. I'd go check out his graphs. Once again, these are the graphs. Footbin's a bit easier to read, guys. I would be using Footbin for this, like I said. And you can read their graphs, right? You can set it by an hourly basis. Now, this is what you'll see. Obviously, this shows me today. I can't show you back on that day, but you can have a look at it at an hourly basis. So I would then go look at the hourly basis. And this is actually something similar to what you'll see, though. You'll see a card fluctuating like this, 1 hour it's 2400, or I'll go to the PlayStation. 1 hour it's 1500, then it's up to 2000, then it's down to 1000, then it'll be up at 1500, then down to 700. And if the card is a really, really good one, you'll see regular fluctuations on the card. I mean, it's as simple as that, guys. What I would then do, I would find a list of maybe 10 cards. So I would go through all the solutions, find cards that are needed in these SBCs, and find cards that their graphs and then having regular fluctuations. So you're seeing them going up and down regularly. And simply, I would jump on those cards. So I would monitor those cards, and every time they got low, I would jump on. So say I've got my list of 10, I would look at the first card, see what his price is. All right, he's up at 1500, right? And that's normally where he maxes out at. Okay, not a good card. Go to my next one. All right, this card, right now, he's at a high as well. He's sitting at about 1500, which is his high as well. Skip the next one. Go to the next card, look him up. Okay, look, that card's sitting at 700 coins. That's a low point for that card. So that card, you know, from his graphs that you've looked at, you see that card normally goes down to 7 to 500 and then normally goes back up to 12 to 1500. So you see it at 700, okay, that's a low point. I'll go buy a bunch of him. All right, so throw him on my transfer list. I'll then go to the next card in my list. All right, this card's down at 600. Okay, this card's at a low point as well. Boom, I'll buy a bunch of him, etc., right? Then I'll keep monitoring the cards and keep going through my list. You know, an hour later, those cards that I bought up, they now might be back in the top solutions. They've now fluctuated back up on one of their high fluctuations. They're both up at 1500. Sell them off, making 600 coins a card. Boom, 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 sell them all off. And then the other cards that were at a high before might now be at a low. I'll go buy those cards. And I just kind of keep rotating it, all right? It is very, very easy money, I find. I will be doing this live on my stream. I'll show you guys how to do it live on the stream. And I apologize that I can't show you specifically with Footbin. They've just taken it off right now. But I hope that kind of makes sense, guys. So yeah, you're basically going into the advanced SBC solutions, looking at a top solution, so in a top 3 or 4 solution, finding cards in those solutions that are needed. So sometimes you can get a card, but it's like you could use many cards in that spot. So if that's an expensive card, a person might be like, well, I'll just, you know, use this card instead, or I'll use that card instead. So you want to find cards that kind of are bottled in, you know what I mean? Like it's like, well, they need that link. They need that specific league, that specific nation. There's not many cards they could swap that card with, all right? They're the cards you want to find. And then you just look at their graphs, and if they're fluctuating regularly, boom, perfect card, add it to your list. And then maybe get a list of, you know, 5, 10 cards that you can just kind of rotate through. And that way, you know, if you've only got a list of 1 or 2 cards, it's kind of like, you know, you're buying it, you're waiting an hour, they fluctuate up, you're selling them, then you got to wait another hour or 2 till they drop again, then you're buying them, then you're waiting an hour. You know what I mean? It's too much waiting time. If you've got a list of 5 to 10, you know, you can rotate them easily because some will be high at one point, some will be low. So you buy the ones that are low when they're low, leave the ones that are high. Then, you know, those ones will go high and these ones will go low, and you can kind of just keep rotating it over, and consistently every hour you're just making money, regular money, all right? So that is one very, very easy way you can make money, and how I like to do it. I make a lot of money off that method. It works extremely well for me, and that is what helps me get to 1 million plus coins by the end of the first week of FIFA. Now, how you can also use this in a more simple form, guys, is just simply sniping these cards. But using these cards, because people always ask me, okay, look, I'm going to snipe, but I don't know how, like, what's a good card to snipe, you know? So you can find sniping filters, but an easy way to find a good card to snipe can be through this. So once again, if you find a card that needs to be used, so you look in the Footbin solutions, you find a card, okay, well, look, this card's in Footbin in the solutions regularly. This card is regularly popping up in different solutions. That means that card will have a lot of demand. And what does demand mean, guys? It sells for a good price. It's going to consistently sell. All right? So you find a card that is in a lot of the solutions and that people regularly need. You know, his price is sitting at around 1,500 coins. All right? Well, then I would just set my filters like 1,000 coins and just sit there and bid on them. And snipe on this card, all right? Boom, boom, boom. You set your card, you just continuously snipe it. So if you're a good sniper, that's also an easy way just to find a card that's got a lot of demand, all right? You know that card's going to be selling as well if it's a low-rated card, because with Footbin solutions, you know, a lot of the cards that are used might be like 75, 76s, so they're going to get packed a lot. So you know there's going to be a lot of supply of them. They're regularly getting packed because they're low-rated. You know that there's a demand for them, though, because they're regularly used in the Footbin solutions. That kind of covers your base in terms of they've got a demand, so they sell. They've got a large supply base, so they're regularly going to be popping up, and you can sit there and snipe them. But, you know, I'm not a good sniper, so I rather stick to my other way. I like to do trends and things like that, and I find I can make a lot more money off that way because I can buy a lot more cards and sell a lot more cards at a time, you know what I mean? And I don't have to worry about, you know, having fast fingers, basically. But yeah, that is the video, guys. If you like the video, man, if it helps you out, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, guys. I will be live streaming today. I'll be live streaming every day, man. So make sure you pop in, ask me a question, show me a starting team. I'm happy to help you guys. I just want to help you guys make some coins, man, while you know, and have banter while we do it. All right. So yeah, a lot of fun. So yeah, you can jump in there, guys. Also, if you're a sub in my Twitch, I run a sub Discord where I post investments, trading tips, guides, all that kind of stuff, guys. So, you know, if you want to sub to the Twitch, you can jump in there. If you've got a Prime, it's free to sub. You know, up to you guys. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching the video, man. Hopefully it helps you out, and I'll obviously see you guys on the next one. Peace out, boys.